I'm here because today is the day of the grand jury for the additional 9 who were subpoenaed just a month and a half ago. 6 of those 9 are Palestinians, and all 9 do Palestine support work. So it's obviously a U.S. Attorney escalation, Department of Justice escalation, and it's becoming more and more clear that they're focusing on folks who do Palestine work in this country. And I think they're focusing on us is because our work is effective and it's productive, and the BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement is working in the U.S. and Africa and Latin America and Europe. We are doing a much better job of delegitimizing Israel as a so-called democratic state. We're going to keep coming out, and we have a lot of support here. You can see thousands of people across the country right now are protesting in over 40 cities, and we have broad support from unions, from the faith institutions, from the mainstream civil libertarians in this country. I mean, it's obvious that we're doing a lot of things right, and we're making a budge in Israel's public relations campaign, and that's why we're being repressed.
Now, one of the things that's been exposed in the last couple of weeks is the fact that there appears to have been a police agent, not just an informant, but an actual agent who may have even functioned as an agent provocateur, an FBI agent that was posted to Minneapolis anti-war work, and then he sort of stemmed out of that. What do you know about that? What do you have to say about that?
Well, I mean, it's not surprising, I would say. I think even some of the folks who lead the defense work around this case have looked at it early on and saw it as being an informant case. This woman, quote-unquote Karen Sullivan is her name, she's not an informant. She is an actual law enforcement member. We don't know if she was a police officer or an FBI agent, but you know, we suspected that this is what their case, whatever the case is going to be be based on information that they got from this woman. And it's another example. We know we have a ton of anecdotal evidence that says that there are FBI agents in dozens of mosques around the country and Arab community centers. We know recently a lot of stories have come out about, you know, the FBI working with unstable young Arab and Muslim youth, trying to get them to perpetrate a crime of terrorism. It's really nasty work done by the law enforcement arm of the government.
Moniker of terrorism. Some people, an increasing number of people, are saying, you know, what the hell does that mean? There's virtually no political group in Palestine that is a designated a terrorist organization, not because it has a particular anti-American agenda, but because it stands against Israeli occupation. So, you know, you could probably have a conversation and pass a piece of chewing gum to somebody in the middle of Ramallah and be accused of material aid to terrorism under those terms. What's your take on the designation itself and the Fed's attempt to use that designation to delegitimize legitimate resistance and legitimate political opposition here at home to U.S. foreign policy?
Every political party, every resistance organization in Palestine is on that list. We also know that there are not that many independents, so to speak, in Palestine. 90% of the Palestinian people support one of those resistance movements or political parties. So basically what the United States is trying to say is that close to 90% of the Palestinian polity supports terrorism. We reject that. You have to reject that. What we need people to do is to continue to call the Attorney General's office, continue to call the U.S. Attorney's office, go to stopfbi.net, get the literature that you need, the talking points that you need. We're asking the U.S. Attorney to end the grand jury. We're asking for all of the materials that were taken from our homes to be returned, and we're asking for the U.S. government to stop its repression of the anti-war and the international solidarity movement. If folks have connections, relationships with legislators, federal legislators, congressmen and senators, it's really important right now, extremely important that they talk to those folks. We need to push for one of them, a brave senator, a brave House of representative in the House, to come out with a Dear Colleague letter that we hope can be distributed through both chambers of Congress, a Dear Colleague letter that will be addressed to the Attorney General and even to the President to ask them to stop this witch hunt.